well, since he's not in the top 5, I don't see myself moving up in the top 5. But I had him in the top 5. I was surprised not to see him, Koreshkov, and Lorenz Larkin. So,
Alex, go ahead.
Hi, Sabah. I just have a quick question for you. So you're on the longest winning streak of your career. What do you attribute that to?
sorry, one more time.
You're on the longest winning streak of your career. What do you attribute that to?
I can't hear you.
What do you attribute that to? Your longest winning streak?
Oh, what do I attribute that to? I mean, it's just, the hard work, and I've said it before and said it again. It's more of a mental state for me. It's like something just mentally clicked for me, and I'm putting everything together now. So I had the skill set. Just everything is just coming together, perfect timing for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Max, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Max Morales from MMA Pit, and I want to ask you, you've been in top promotions throughout your whole career, and now you're fighting a guy that's nearly 60 professional fights. What do you think about this great challenge that Paul Daley represents?
What was it?
Could you repeat the question there, Max?
Yeah. So you've been in your whole professional career in top promotions like this one, like Bellator, and now you're fighting Paul Daley that has nearly 60 pro fights. What's the challenge that you think of Paul Daley?
Biggest challenge fighting Paul Daley.
Biggest challenge? I just got to respect his power, but he has to respect mine too. But other than that, I see myself beating him everywhere. I don't care how many fights he has. I fought people with more fights than him. I don't give a shit. I do it every day in the gym, and to me, it's just, it's a fight.
Thank you so much.
Santiago?
Hi, Sabah. Thank you for the time.
Of course.
Roman Feraldo was sitting here 2 weeks ago, and he told us that he helped you out with your camp, and he was all fired up about your intensity in training. Of course, Roman had a beautiful KO win himself. Also, Cody Law, Dalton Rasta won their fight. ATT is taking over in Bellator. Can you feel that in the gym as well, that the vibe is extremely good?
Yeah, definitely, man. We got a great crew back there. I was super stoked for these guys the past weekend when they got their W. Yeah, man, I'm just excited. We're all doing great. We got great coaching, great teammates. So I'm just excited to showcase my skills Friday night.
So who did you bring in your corner, Sabah?
Who did you bring in your corner this fight?
I have Mike Brown, Dustin Poirier, and my manager, Brian Butler.
Pretty good crew. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Appreciate the time, Sabah. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check, mic check. Did that not pick me up?
I mean, not on. Where would I?
Mic check, mic check, mic. What just happened? Mic check, mic check.
Yes, I'm really. That freaking eye doctor, they're like, not trying to give me my paperwork.
Did we make a change?
Who was next? I said Vita. She wasn't even on our list, was she?
Well, I have to fill it.
I have Phil next.
Thank you, though.
Howdy. Howdy.
How you doing, man?
Doing good. Jeez Louise.
All right, Phil Davis is up next.
Phil Davis is up next. Dang it. I wish I would have handed this off to you.
Are you on
Hold with the eye doctor.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I'll just.
Mr. Davis? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so you can come and pick me.
All right, we are now being joined by Phil Davis. We'll begin with a few questions from the media. Darnell, your line is now live.
Hi, Phil. This is Darnell Praval with MMA Island. Out of the competitors in this competition, who do you feel would be your toughest test?
My toughest test. Honestly, it's sort of cliche, but I want to say Nemkov. I think he's a champion for the reason. He's a tough cat, and he's the guy to beat. He is the guy to beat, the champion. I want to have the light heavyweight belt, and after that, then clean up the rest of the tournament.
And one more question, Phil. How has the stock market been treating you ever since your last interview?
Funny you should ask. I was just upstairs looking at it. It's just been big. I was probably over invested in big tech, and obviously I actually got my money out before it went crazy downward. So now I'm actually looking into some other things to invest in.
Nate, go ahead.
Just going off of that, sir, what other things can you give us some good stonk picks going forward?
Yeah. So right now I'm also looking into what exactly Biden's what's his plan he just announced earlier and signed for. It was a $1.9 trillion infrastructure bill. So I'm looking into raw materials and what exactly is going to get done first and soonest, and kind of some small stuff, construction stuff that I might invest in.
Construction. Okay, interesting. But back to the fight. On Instagram, you said, I hope you guys are ready. What should the viewers be ready to see on Friday night?
That's the thing. I don't know. It's going to be crazy, though. It's going to be crazy. I can promise you that. Right now, I know Nemkov. You know when you get you skate by with a win, and this time he's coming to make a statement that he is the rightful champion, and I am coming to say no, you're not. And so, it's definitely going to be a very aggressive and exciting fight.
Mike?
Hey, Phil. So is this the perfect time for you guys to fight? You have the second longest active streak, obviously split decision. Didn't go your way last time. You said he's champion for a reason. Do you feel like everything lined up for this to be the perfect time for you guys to run this back?
See, you feel it. That's why you would even ask a question like, because you feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You feel that. You put it out there. I was already thinking it, but you felt it too. So you know it's real. You know what I mean? I felt it. You felt it. It's real. I look back at that loss and I'm like, hey, I never wish I would lose, but at the same time, I do feel like it adds a little bit more theatrics to this moment and how sweet it will be to win the belt back from a very close decision and in such an amazing light heavyweight tournament.
Cliche media question is my last one. More important to win this rematch or to get your belt back?
It's the same one. It's the same fight. Belt back.
And then you can work
belt
towards
back. That's a very
emotional.
To me, that's an emotional question, and I'm very not emotional about fighting at all. It's a job, and I do it because it's fun. And I'm about being the champion.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, Dylan.
Hey there, Phil. Appreciate you making some time.
Yeah, you bet.
I just wanted to ask with the dialogue of this being part of a Grand Prix, and I've talked to a couple fighters who have captured both lineal championships and Grand Prix titles, and it seems like that Grand Prix title almost supersedes the divisional hardware in a certain regard. Is that a sentiment you share? Should you get the ideal outcome and end up winning this entire Grand Prix?
Well, the last time I was in a light heavyweight tournament, that was more difficult than a 5-round fight. That's for sure. That's for certain. So there's that. However, that is not this tournament. This tournament is for sure absolute craziness. So yes, beating Nemkov and winning the belt will be a special thing, a special moment, and I'll be extremely excited. But this tournament is it has too many of the who's, and this will be one to be remembered.
Alex?
Hi, Phil. So you only fought once in 2020, and the last time you only fought once was in 2011. I just wanted to know if only fighting once had any effect on your mentality, on your just any effect on you at all.
I don't. Honestly, I don't think so. Luckily for me, I keep myself very active in the gym. I don't think I ever was My weight was never out of control. I stay fairly close to weight. I don't even check weight. I can look in the mirror and tell where I'm at pretty within a pound or two. So, I manage my weight well. I stay in the gym. I put on just a little bit of muscle, and I'm just constantly cleaning up my technique and build new skills. So I don't feel like I lost anything. I might have actually extended my career just by having less damage, more technique, right? And I just made the most out of 2020, which was a very disappointing year for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And I feel like I was blessed in the sense that I was able to turn that into a positive for myself.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, Max.
Hi, Phil. I'm Max Morales from MMA Pit, and you have this rematch with Nemkov and a chance of potential rematches with Anthony Johnson and Ryan Bader. That's something adding flavor to the Grand Prix, or only the belts in mind for you? And is there some sort of dream final for you?
Yeah, all of those matchups are, all of those matchups are freaking awesome. I am definitely motivated to avenge a loss, but in all things, I am just more motivated about winning this tournament because this is it has some of the who's who of the sport of the light heavyweight division. And whoever wins this, the fans will go down and say, man, that guy is freaking awesome. You went head to head with all the killers in this division.
And given your career with thinking on a victory of these Grand Prix, what would you do with that belt? Would you pursue a double championship, or what would it be in your mind?
What would be on my mind? Probably nice little family vacation, trip to Legoland when it reopens. Just simple things. I'm a simple man. As far as fighting goes, I've always been open to anything.
Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Phil, how you doing, man?
Ready to get real.
That's what I'm talking about, man. There you go. And as for yourself, 5 days ago, you posted on your Instagram, you said, don't sleep on me. And I feel that a lot of in your career, people have slept on your name. So in this tournament, what would it mean for you in this tournament to finally let people know who the real Phil Davis is?
Man, it's a fun thing just to be able to come in with a little bit of shot value. Once upon a time, I didn't have as many skills in terms of striking, and slowly over the years, I've been adding it into my arsenal. And I don't know that my wrestling and grappling has always been one of those things, like, people know, like, do not let this fool take you down. Don't do it. And so I've been able to use that as leverage to threaten that, and then extend my striking. And now I'm at a place where I can use my striking to set up my takedowns, my grappling, and truthfully use all of it to find the place where my opponents are weakest. And I'm a much more well-rounded fighter than probably most people know. But truthfully, I would much rather have my performance show that than explain it to you. I'd rather just, show you.
And when it was all said and done, what would it mean for you personally to win the title?
To win the title, man, that's what you get in this game to do. That's what it's all about. That's the reason why. That's the why.
Sam Oakley.
Hi, Phil. Sam Oakley from MMA UK here. So you've mentioned in previous questions wanting to get that win back over Vadim Nemkov. I was wondering, does that first fight factor into your mindset going into this weekend? Does it fuel your motivation that bit more to try and get this one back? Do you feel like you know him better? and you have a better handle on him than you did when you went into the first fight? Or does that not really affect your mindset too much?
I think it's a mistake to think that you know a guy, or think you know what he's going to do, or think you know how he's thinking. I approach it almost as a brand new fighter, brand new fight, because it keeps me from falling into the trap of underestimating him, or thinking maybe he didn't improve here or he didn't improve there. No. I have limited knowledge of what you like to do and what I think your plan of attack will be, and my job is just to come at you with a blank slate and take in, because especially with rematches, they tend to be completely different from the first ones a lot of times, just because guys are kind of doing round 6, so or round 4 of the first fight. And so I want to come in with a complete blank slate. I kind of have an idea what you do, but I'm approaching it brand new. That just allows me to see what's coming at me and make adjustments based on what he's doing and not what I think he's going to do.
So I feel like Bellator recently, as well as other promotions, but it's been showcasing that this great MMA. It's not just in the UFC. You can find it all over the world, all different promotions. And this tournament, with all of the legends, the former champions, the big names, and the newcomers, it's got a lot of eyes on the Bellator. That might not be there otherwise. So I just wanted to give your thoughts on that. Like, do you feel some sort of obligation to showcase the Bellator brand and show people who may normally only watch the UFC that, hey, elite world-class MMA can be found in promotions all over the world?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always down to rep my team. I rep the Bellator banner. This is my family. And yeah, absolutely. We have some of the best fighters in the world. Definitely the best light heavyweight division. This is the best light heavyweight tournament ever.
All right, last one here. Go ahead, Will.
Hey, Phil. You've had a amazing career so far, and it seems like in Bellator, the judges just haven't been very nice to you, and you've come out on the wrong end of 3 out of 4 split decisions, and a couple of them, the media thought that you did win. What can we expect to see out of you in the tournament to keep these judges from screwing you over again?
Yeah, no, I don't really blame the judges. I never do. Judges got a tough job, man. They take a lot of punches and they can't throw any. They got a tough job. I think it's up to me to end it in regulation, or make such a one-sided fight that pretty much everybody knows who won.
All right, thanks for the time, Phil.
Thank you, everybody.
We are now being joined by Paul Daley. Once again, we're going to begin with a few questions from the media. Max, your line is now live.
Hi, Paul.
How are you?
So we've been talking a while ago with Sabah, and he said that he wants to beat you, that he thinks he's superior than you, and that record is not faced by your record of 59 fights. So what do you think about that?
I think he has to say that for his confidence. I know already that he's nervous. He's already doubting himself. And it's a big change from the interview he gave when we were supposed to fight pre-COVID, when he was saying that he was a fan of me and, he's been watching me fight for a while. So that in itself tells me that he's nervous about the fight, and it's just for his confidence he's saying stuff like that, just to reassure him that he deserves to be in there with me.
And what's left or what's next for you after 59 fights?
Who knows? I'm just here to fight Friday night, put on a fantastic performance, stop the guy, take him out there, leave no questions to my ability, and just put on a great show.
Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Paul. So how relieving will it be for you to finally get this over with? I know obviously this fight has fizzled out twice, already. You just mentioned a kind of change in tone from Sabah. For you, taking one fight at a time and not looking towards the future, is this going to be nice to get this opponent in this fight, out of the way?
Just to fight, I like to fight, and I'm just looking forward to fighting, regardless of who is in there with me on Friday night. Just so happens it's going to be Sabah. And, on paper, he should bring it. It should be a stand-up war, but I don't think it's going to be as much of a war while it's standing. And I think there's going to be quite a few takedown attempts from himself. But apart from that, I'm just looking forward to getting back in there. That's the main thing, getting back in there, displaying my skills and taking care of business.
He did say that he was a little surprised when the rankings came out that you weren't even in the top 5. Finally getting back into competition and looking to display your skill set. Do you believe now that you're back in competition, there's a new rankings list out, that you'll show not only yourself but those making the rankings that you belong inside that top 5 as well?
It's difficult because I think the rules of Bellator rankings, you have to have competed in the past 12 months. So with COVID, I haven't competed, so I can see why I'm not in there. The other thing is my last fight at 170 pounds was against Eric Silva. The fight against Saida Wad was 175 pounds. This fight's 175 pounds. So I understand why I'm not there, but everybody knows I deserve to be in the top 10. Everybody knows, I'm definitely top 3 in Bellator in the welterweight division. Just so happens, like I say, this fight's at 175 pounds.
Sam?
Hi, Paul. Sam Oakley from MMA UK here. A while ago on Instagram, you put a post out where you said, quote, that soon you will put the blade to rest. So I was wondering, at this point in your career, after so many pro fights, as the last interviewer mentioned, what is it that's fueling you going into fights? What is it that gets you up in the morning in training camp?
I love to fight. And above that, very few people who meet me have the same idea of me prior to meeting me. Everyone thinks I'm this fucking psychotic fighting machine, but deep down I'm a martial artist. What brought me to martial arts was ninjas. That is what got me into martial arts. It wasn't the fact I was some kind of street fighter or the well, let's just say that initially I wasn't some kind of street fighter. I just wanted to be a ninja. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to do the meditation things, intertwine my fingers and fucking summon a dragon or some shit like that. So deep down I'm a martial artist, and that's what keeps me going. I've said it, and it's a bit of a cheesy quote, but it's the endless search for perfection that drives me. I just want to be the best martial artist I can be, and you can see that with I've just recently been awarded my black belt. I'm still here in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm still here here at Bellator, still competing against these guys, and after so many fights and so many years in the game. So I just want to be the best I can be.
Awesome. It's one more from me. As you may be aware, it's recently been 10 years since your fight with one Nick Diaz, a fight that many have said had one of the greatest rounds in MMA history. The sport has changed and evolved so much since then. So how does it feel looking back on that fight 10 years later, looking back on that chapter of your career?
It's not something I look back on often. You know, I get people tagging me in it and all of this, like the best round in history or whatever, but I lost the fight. You know, I'm in there to win. So initially I would share it because, you know, I was in there with Nick Diaz, who I regard as one of the best mixed martial arts fighters of my generation. But now I don't tend to share it. I lost the match. I didn't do what I was supposed to do in preparation for the fight. So it's just another fight. But the Masvidal victory I look back on because I whooped his ass. I got that victory, and now he's claiming to be the BMF, but we all know who the real BMF is, so that's that.
Donna?
Paul, will a part of you never feel like you're fully done if you haven't got in there one more time at Michael Venom Page?
No, not at all. I disregard that guy a lot, and you've heard what I've said in previous interviews. I truly believe in my heart. You know, Marvin Hagler retired after the Sugar Ray Leonard fight because he knew in his heart he won the fight. And if you're at peace with that, regardless of what it says on paper, then you're at peace with it. I know I won that fight, so it is what it is.
What do you think of his position in the rankings? A lot of people saying that based on quality of opponent, maybe he's a little bit high.
You know, time will tell. He's an entertaining fighter against the level of opponents that he's looked good against. So only time will tell for him. He will either prove his doubters wrong, or you know, he will prove the haters right. So I don't know if that makes sense, but you kind of get what I mean.
Dylan, go ahead.
Hey there, Paul. Appreciate you making some time today.
No problem.
Now, I was noticing with this Sabah Homasi fight here, it's been canceled a couple times here, and it seems like it's been on your radar for just, you know, well over a year now, around a year and a half. How does it feel to finally be just, you know, on the precipice of this fight finally coming to fruition?
Yeah, it's good to, like I said, it's just good to get back in there and compete. You know, like I was supposed to fight him a few times, but everything happens for a reason. First time he got injured. Second time it was COVID. He might have even been in the lineup to fight against me in Italy, but he couldn't get out there. And it turns out that you know, I wasn't well after the weigh-ins there anyway, so the fight probably wouldn't have happened. So the timing's right. You know, the stars have aligned, so that the fight's supposed to happen. The universe says so, and Friday we're going to fight.
We'll take a couple more here. Damon?
Hey, Paul, you mentioned something there that kind of caught my ear when you were talking about Jorge Masvidal. You know, you have that win over him. You know, as a guy who has fought, you know, at the top of the division for so many years, what does the title mean to you now when you look at your career? When you think about all the iconic fights you've had, the iconic wins you've had, like, does that matter as much, if not maybe more than a title at this point when you think about, I mean, all the memorable things you've done in your career?
It's a hard one, and I often think about that, but I would, you know, I came in the sport to be a champion, and most of the promotions I fought for, I've been a champion or I've been a contender, and you know, it kind of sucks to always be a contender, and I would still love to be a champion, but like you say, I've been in memorable fights. And, you know, if you can make up titles, you know, Masvidal and Nick Diaz made up the BMF title, and, you know, Masvidal won and got paid a bunch of money, and I'm also in it for the money. So if I can make up a title, fight for my own title and get paid a bunch of cash, and I'll do that as well. But I'm just here to compete against the best and perfect myself as a fighter.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, last one here. Nate?
Yes, sir. Congratulations on the BJJ black belt. Is that
Thank you.
something that we should be expecting to maybe see on display this weekend, or is it just part of the journey?
It's part of the journey, and I would choose, you know, my jiu-jitsu goals anyway. And the journey there isn't over by any means. But I think there's a possibility that you will see some of those improvements Hopefully not, because I know he's going to come for the takedowns. Hopefully I can stuff those takedowns and get away and keep the fight standing. But should I be on my back or should I be in top position? I think there will be notable improvements, and I have the confidence to do it now. I've always had the ability. I've only ever been submitted by Rory McDonald and Jake Shields. Two of the best grapplers in MMA. So I think that side of it, my natural ability on the ground has been underrated, but there's definite improvements, and I have a whole lot of extra confidence on the ground. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the time, Paul. Good luck on Friday.
Nice one.
We will be joined next by Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov.
Go.
We are now being joined by Dovletdzhan Yagshimuradov. We'll begin with a few questions from the media. Alex, your line is now live.
Hi, Dovletdzhan. I just got a quick question for you. For any of the North American fans who have never seen you fight, how would you describe your fighting style to them?
Давлет, очень быстро к тебе вопрос для всех зрителей Северной Америки и американской публики. Как бы ты описал свой стиль боев? Это именно для тех, кто никогда тебя еще не видел здесь. И как бы ты коротко описал, чего им ожидать?
Ну, во-первых, всем здравствуйте. Салам алейкум. Как свой стиль боя? Если честно, я сам иногда себя не понимаю. Ну, непонятный стиль. Вот так коротко сказать. Корявый.
Well, first of all, greetings to everyone, and that's a good actually question. Sometimes I don't even know, and I don't like really know how to call my style, and it's some kind of weird and cringe style. Let's call it that way.
And go ahead.
Говори.
Говорить? Да. Ну, адаптируюсь под соперника, вот так можно сказать.
And usually I more like start adapting for my opponent during the fight. If the guy try to wrestle, I strike with him. If the guy try to strike, I wrestle with him.
Awesome. And finally, you have a big name in Corey Anderson. How do you see this fight going down?
У тебя очень большое имя. Сейчас напротив тебя это твой соперник Кори Андерсон. Как ты видишь, как пройдет этот бой?
Большое имя в смысле, что она пишется большое, или как большое имя вот так?
Ну, в смысле у него известное.
Как пройдет бой? Ну, не знаю, но как бы это бой, здесь все возможно. Все возможно, так что я думаю, бой покажет, что как будет. Не могу что-то сказать, потому что заранее. Я не любитель такого, чтобы заранее говорить такие вещи. Все будет решаться в бою, в клетке.
Что ты вообще собираешься делать? Скажи хоть что-то.
Драться?
Well,
Бороться?
well, you know, I don't like predict the fights. You know, especially my own fights. It's easier to predict someone else's fight, but it's hard to say what is gonna be. It's everything's gonna be shown like tomorrow in the cage. What's gonna happen? But only thing I can tell about what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go out there and fight with the guy.
Will, go ahead.
Will from the Fight Gods podcast. Thank you for being here today. Coming into Bellator, into the big time, they're throwing you right into the fire in a tournament with several legends. What does it mean to you that they have the confidence in you to bring you in and go up against these legends in your debut with the company?
Говоря о твоем дебюте в Bellator, ты попал в эту организацию, и, если так сказать, если так выразиться, тебя бросили сразу под такие грузовики. Сразу много таких больших и легендарных имен участвует в этом гран-при. И как вообще это скажется на твоем дебютном поединке, если от этого какой-то у тебя груз?
Да нет, если честно, никакого груза нету. Если они какие-то большие грузовики, ничего страшного. Мы тоже не маленькие. Как бы думаю, мне это как бы имена, да, известные, там, распиаренные. Но я же говорю, я тоже как бы дрался в непростой лиге, непростыми соперниками. И все будет хорошо.
Well, I don't feel any kind of pressure because of that, you know, because there's some kind of big names in this tournament against me, but it's only names, you know, it's still the same fighter, even though they're like more known fighters, or like more promoted fighters. But in my career, I have fought like the competition that I faced. It's not worse than it's at some moments even better, you know, than these guys. So I have like pretty good experience, and I'm not a small guy too, so I can fight with any of them.
All right, last one here, Sam.
Hello, Samuel Clay from MMA UK. As previously mentioned, this tournament is full of legends, big names, as well as newcomers like yourself. So I was wondering, are there any particular matchups in this tournament that intrigue you the most?
Как уже упоминались, очень много известных имен в этом гран-при. А у тебя самого какое-либо есть предпочтение, с кем бы вот тебе из них всех хотелось бы встретиться?
Если честно говоря, как бы не в том дело, да, как встретиться. Мне как бы большинство все время я следил за Ромеро, как бы он как боец мне нравится, да, как он дерется, как он ведет себя. Так что не знаю, я думал, что Ромеро, думаю.
Yeah, to answer your question, I think Romero is the right name. Not like I'm like super wanna fight this guy or something special about his fight, but I was always fan of his fun style, of his fight style, and you know the way he act on the public. You know, I'm kind of respect this guy. Yeah. So if you ask me who I would like to fight from this list of names, that would be Yoel Romero.
All right, one more, Martina.
Hi, thank you. Dovletdzhan, just one more question. How did your history with ACA came to an end? Didn't they want to keep you on the roster?
Вопрос, как вообще твоя история закончилась с ACA? Просто была информация, что они хотели тебя оставить, но в итоге мы тебя видим здесь, в Беллаторе.
С ACA, как бы у меня контракт закончился, но они хотели, чтобы я сделал еще один бой, как бы, но в связи с пандемией, с карантинными нормами, не получилось получить визу. И так как мы договорились, обоюдное соглашение пришли, чтобы оставить пояс вакантным и отпустить меня.
I fought out my contract, you know, my deal was over, but ACA asked me to do one more fight. And I agreed to that too, but, you know, because of some travel restriction during the pandemic, I couldn't make my visa to Russia at that moment. you know, and that fight got canceled too, you know, that scheduled fight, like one more additional fight. And, you know, at the end, they just released me, and now I'm here.
Okay, thanks for the time, Dovletdzhan.
Спасибо большое, Давлет.
Все, вам тоже thank you.
Next up is Corey Anderson. We are now being joined by Corey Anderson. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from the media. Jake, your line is now live.
Hi, Corey. How are you doing? Jake Jones from Ultimate MMA here. Congratulations on the birth of your daughter, Nina. Now, this was only a month or so back. Has this given you a new motivation to go and win that belt? And has fatherhood changed the way you're training at all?
I mean, fatherhood changed my life 2 years ago when my son was born. So that already gave me that new motivation, and that is what helped me on the winning streak I went on in the UFC. And then towards the end, I kind of lost focus of what I was fighting for. And we all saw what happened when I went into Yan. Like, I didn't fight for my family. I didn't fight for myself. I went out there to prove a point, and I paid the ultimate cost. And then coming back into the manhood fight, since that was my first fight after the February 15th, the refocus is back. You know, spent so much time with my son during the quarantine, watching him grow, building that relationship, and just remembering, like, this is why I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything. Every move I make is for my family, so I can give them a better life. So I need to go out there and be smart about it. And now that I have two, and having my baby, this baby girl, and not only having another baby, but delivering the baby myself, it just put a whole nother aspect on everything. And now it's really like, yeah, I gotta go out here. I gotta be smart. I gotta do everything so I can get home safely to my family and bring home 2 checks from 2 kids in my family.
Absolutely. You mentioned a second ago about your loss to Yan. I know you, after departing from the UFC, you took to social media to note some serious head injuries that you suffered from after the fight. You mentioned about some of the blackouts that you suffered from. I think you kind of noted that the welfare of the fighters you didn't feel was, I guess, the UFC's top priority. What's life like under Bellator, and do you feel like you are much more valued and looked after as a fighter here?
I mean, the moment I got the release and everything settled from UFC and signed with Bellator, I knew my value was already, I was valued more over here already before even meeting anybody. You know, we made it, my manager let people know that we got out of UFC, and within like an hour to hour and a half, Bellator hit us with a huge offer that we couldn't pass. So like even him, DC, the people I was with at the time, like, yo, if you don't take that money, you are stupid. So we took that, and that showed me value, how much they value me as a fighter. And then a few hours later, I'm on the phone with Mike Hogan. And then a couple hours after that, I got a message from Scott Coker that wanted to meet for breakfast. So in a matter of 24 hours, a new promotion had offered me my worth in money, reached out and actually talked to me to see what my plans are, what I was looking forward to doing. And then they wanted to meet with me face-to-face, which is something in my 7 years in the UFC, I still hadn't had a face-to-face meeting with Dana White.
Damon?
Hey, Corey, 2 quick questions. First, let me ask you, in this tournament, obviously, you're coming in as one of the, highest ranked guys, so to say. but you're facing kind of the one unknown guy in the tournament, the guy who doesn't have the same kind of name value as, let's say, you know, Nemkov the champ or Yoel Romero or Anthony Johnson. Does that raise the pressure for you going into a fight like this, considering you are the favorite and the known guy, and you're fighting the one guy in this tournament who isn't kind of a household name in this division?
Nah, don't put pressure on myself anymore. You know, like I said, going to the last fight against Manhoef, they said the same thing. You know, if we're getting knocked out in your losses, you're going against a guy that got 29 knockouts all in the first, or so many knockouts and 29 in the first rounds, or any pressure. The pressure is what you put on yourself, you know. But I go into training camp and I look at my opponent, or my training partners, like, I'm going to look at my opponent. Granted, I'm not going out there to hurt them. I don't plan on hurting my opponent if I don't have to in a fight. But the plan is to go out there and dominate and win in the best fashion and get to him before he gets to me. So it could be the #1 ranked guy. It could be the lowest ranked guy in the world. But the plan is go out there and fight like Corey Anderson fights. Go out there and be the mixed martial artist that you train to be every day. Don't go out there and fight down to the level of your opponent. Fight up to the level of the champion, because we train every day to be the champion, not to beat the person in front of me today.
One more. I know obviously your only focus is on Friday, but I got to ask, if everything goes well this weekend, you already know who your next opponent would be. What did you think, if you saw it, what did you think of Ryan Bader's recent performance?
I mean, at the end, he turned it up. He went out there and dominated and did what he should have did. And only thing I would say negative about his fight is the first 2 rounds. I was commentating it to my wife. Like, in his mind, I feel like he's thinking about that UFC fight when he blitzed in and got caught. But it's 7 years later. You're way better than that. You know, he should have went out there and remembered, like, it's been 7 years. I've learned so much more. I'm not necessarily going to blitz in, but I can close this distance a lot faster. But playing the outside against a guy like Machida, who Machida's going to either counter or play kick game from the outside, and what he did, and he ate Bader up for like the first round and a half. But once he got past that, he went out there and dominated and did what he should have did and looked great. And if that's who I got to fight, or that's who I'm going to fight in the finals, just got to be paying attention to those same things. Just can't let him get turned up in the beginning. Got to go ahead and push the pace early and do what I do and control the ring or the cage.
Donna?
Corey, your opponent on Friday night is kind of an unknown quantity. He's the only one in this tournament who fans generally won't know. He hasn't been in the promotion before. What exactly do you know about your opponent on Friday?
I know he was the ACA champion I think he defended the belt probably 4 times, I think, at least 4, or he at least had it once and defended it 3. He's light on his feet. He plays the outside really well, and he wants you to overcommit. And when you overcommit, he's either going to throw a big overhand. He's going to shoot in for a shot. If you stay to the outside, he'll try to bounce, and lure you into a big, wild spinning heel kick or a low leg kick, trying to throw you off balance and make you rush forward. I just know he was a martial artist. You know, he was the champ somewhere else. He is legitimate enough to be in this tournament with the other 7 fighters. So with that being said, I'm not going there looking past him because he's not a name we don't know. I'm not looking in there and thinking, well, I was in the UFC and I was in the top. I fought the top. So this guy, he's not ready. I'm going out there thinking this guy is as dangerous as anybody else. He has 2 fists. He has 2 legs. He got 2 eyes and 2 ears. He can hear, see, and throw whatever he want to throw when he sees it. So I have to use my same tools, my hands, my feet, my elbows, my knees, my eyes, ears. Stay on, stay focused, and be prepared for anything because we don't know this guy. So we don't know what he can throw. He can go out there and throw anything that we haven't seen before. So you got to be prepared for whatever and just be the best mixed martial artist I can on Friday night and dominate the way I know I can.
There is dispute over in the UFC about, because John Jones vacated his title and then Jan fought Dominic Reyes and then he fought someone who was coming up from the lower weight class, that there's dispute over the title over there. Do you believe that the winner of the tournament you're competing in is the best light heavyweight in the world?
I mean, I truly do. I had this conversation with one of my guys this morning. One of my best friends is here helping me out. And I said, if you think about it, they got this debate going on between the best in the UFC and the best in Bellator. Well, you look at 4 people that's in this tournament, me, Phil Davis, Rumble, Ryan Bader, have all fought the #1 contender in the UFC. 3 of the 4 of us spanked that #1 contender pretty well and handily. So me, Phil Davis, and Rumble all went out there and beat Glover pretty precise, not even close. The Rumble knocked him out in like 13 seconds. Phil beat him unanimous. I beat him unanimous. And one of us in this tournament has fought the UFC champ. And I'm 1-1 with that champ. So, to be honest, there's a higher, better rank of guys in the Bellator 205 than the UFC right now, because a lot of the new 205ers coming up are just new guys that sign up from contenders and that no one really knows, because they just got to fill these voids to find a new star.
Mike?
Hey, Corey, kind of to piggyback off that, Phil Davis said, one, this is the greatest light heavyweight tournament of all time, and two, Bellator hands down has the better of the two light heavyweight divisions between you guys and the UFC. Do you easily agree with both those statements?
100%. Like he said, I couldn't say any better. Like you just said, we have all the numbers, we have the skills, we have the names. I mean, really, in 205 over there, all you have right now is the champ and Glover, and people here already beat both of those guys. So it's kind of like it shouldn't even be a question. It's just the name of UFC. That's all.
We hear a lot of fighters talk about having both the physical and mental aspect all in check. And when you talk about how much more welcome and loved and appreciated and respected you feel coming over to Bellator, having this quarantine time to focus on family and getting back to fighting for everything that matters, unlike, your last fight in the UFC. So with all that in place, are you fighting at the perfect time this weekend in this tournament and moving forward?
Oh, 100%. I made a post a couple of days ago and said I'm in the best place I've been physically and mentally in my whole career. And that's just the fact you don't have that. You're not fighting with the organization. I got to a point, before the Johnny Walker fight, I didn't fight all that year until the end of the year to fight Johnny in December, because we were fighting with the promotion the whole time, And then even after the fight, it still was a fight, and then I wasn't going out there. It got to the point, like my manager called me and said, "You're not the Corey we know anymore. You're changing. You turn into this ugly person. You just have a beautiful soul. That's not you. You don't speak like that. You don't act like that." But it was to the point you get so fed up to arguing with people. It's like, I've been here for 7 years and done everything you wanted me to do. It's kind of like you still don't appreciate it. And now, so you're fighting two battles. You got to fight the guy in the octagon, but at the same time, you got to fight the people you work for. As for here, I haven't had any of that. I reached out to Mike Kogan, nothing but respect. Every time I got a question, he answered back. Any misunderstanding, we get it worked out. Boom. He talked to my manager talked to me. Everything is worked out. It's been smooth between two fights. Camp, there's no headache. I'm not stressed. I'm like, oh, so if I go out there or I say this, are they going to punish me? Oh, this is going to happen if I tweet this. If I post this post, are they going to get mad? If I tag this person, are they going to get upset? It's literally, I can be me. I have the right to be Corey Anderson, use Corey Anderson's platform the way Corey Anderson want to use it, post what I want to do, spend time with my family, say what I want to say. He's giving me my freedom of speech. He's giving me, it's kind of like the First Amendment, all the amendments that people are fighting for in the world. It's like Bellator gave me that back as a fighter. As for in the UFC, it was kind of like, you better do this or.
Martina?
Hello, sir. Just two questions. First of all, I would like to know who, in your opinion, is the dark horse in this tournament of Bellator?
I mean, to be honest, you gotta say Yags. The guy I'm fighting is the dark horse because nobody knows him, But personally, I would say me, because I know a lot of people, you see the media. Granted, I'm ranked as high as I am in the world and in Bellator and was in the UFC. A lot of people think from the performances I've had over my 7 years, when I get into the big fights, whatever Corey chokes, he gets knocked out. And being in a tournament where guys, all of them have knockout power, everybody expecting in one of these fights, I'm going to get clipped and get put out. But at the same time, you got to think, Yags just doesn't have a name. Nobody knows him. So everybody's looking like, oh, this guy's going to be the easiest fight of the whole tournament. Whoever gets him first should go out there and just maul over him because he's a nobody. And that's just you can't have the attitude going into any fight against anybody, because everybody has a puncher's chance.
Okay. Talking about Jan and Glover Teixeira, you have your history with both of those fighters. Could you please share your prediction for this fight between Jan and Glover?
I think Glover's going to win. Glover is going to be the new champ. To be honest, I fought both of them. I think Glover's just a well-prepared mixed martial artist who has the better mindset that can go for 5 rounds. He has the better cardio, and he can put it all together throughout the whole fight, and I just feel Jan, he's good too, but we all see Jan, he slows down in the later rounds. And at that point, that's when Glover is still good and he can take him down. His jiu-jitsu is just second to none, probably the best in 205.
Thanks for the time, Corey. Good luck on Friday. Next up is Vadim Nemkov. We are now being joined by Vadim Nemkov. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from the media. Will, your line is now live.
Hey, Vadim, this is Will from the Fight Gods. Coming into this tournament, you're the champion. Number one, does that add extra pressure to the tournament to you? And also, coming off of the win over Phil Davis by split decision, what can we expect you to do different to win a more dominant fight this time?
Вадим, меня слышно?
Да, Ром, слышно.
Вадим, ты сейчас входишь в это гран-при как чемпион. Оказывает ли это на тебя дополнительное давление? И потом будет второй вопрос. На первый ответь.
В это гран-при я вхожу в статусе чемпиона. Но я постарался выкинуть эти мысли из головы. Сейчас я вхожу в это гран-при как обычный боец, и моя задача просто зайти и выиграть это гран-при. Но все равно так как
Yes,
Давай.
yes, I'm on this Grand Prix like a champion, but I try to move these things out of my head. So I enter on this tournament like a regular fighter, and I just want to win. Second question. И второй вопрос. Первый, да.
Ну и для меня главная победа. А пояс это уже.
For me,
Для меня главная победа.
For me, it's much important right now. It's to win this tournament, not the belt. Прошлый твой бой был с Филом близкий. Он был закончился сплит-decision, раздельным решением в твою сторону. Скажи, пожалуйста, какие у тебя мысли, как ты хочешь закончить этот бой сейчас и что ты для этого будешь делать?
Сейчас я бы хотел бой закончить досрочно, и чтобы поставить такую жирную точку в нашем противостоянии. Для этого я буду работать первым номером и пытаться выиграть этот бой досрочно.
I will try to finish Phil Davis as soon as possible. I want to make it fast. I will be the first number. I'm going to work like a first number, and I won't put the big dot on our meeting with Phil Davis, so I won't put the dot on it.
Thank you.
Спасибо.
Alex, go ahead.
Hi, Vadim. Your brother Victor is making his Bellator debut on the same card as you, and he's fighting the last guy that beat you. What's your thoughts on this?
Твой брат вступает в Bellator, в поединок с человеком, которому ты проиграл прошлый бой. Какие твои мысли по этому поводу?
Ну, я хотел бы, чтобы мой брат выиграл я хотел, чтобы мой брат выиграл этот поединок и доказал, что наша школа сильнее. Его уже выиграл Валентин Молдавский, и поэтому я сделал выводы из того поражения, и сейчас я спокойно отношусь к этому. У меня нет никаких претензий к нему, к сопернику. Единственное, что мне нет смысла с ним драться, реванш пока, потому что сейчас я чемпион Беллатора уже за этот промежуток времени, Карл Альбертсон успел за это время проиграть несколько боев, и для меня это поражение, которое было в молодости, оно меня не тревожит.
So, I make the right decisions after my fight with Carl. So right now I'm the champion. I don't see for myself any rematch right now because he lost some fights and I'm the champion. And also I wish, of course, wish my brother only win. I want that he will prove that our school of fighting, our style is the better, because Valentin Moldavsky already won Karl Albrechtson before. So I just want to wish to my brother a good win.
Sam, go ahead.
Hi, Vadim. Just a couple of questions from me. This tournament is full of big names, legends, former champions, and as well as being the current champion, you're coming in as the youngest fighter by quite a few years. So how does it feel gearing up to face all of these big names and legends?
В этот турнир входит очень много больших имен, известных имен, легенд. Ты в этом турнире самый молодой чемпион. Какие твои мысли по этому поводу?
Хотелось бы выиграть этот турнир, во-первых. А во-вторых, то, что, как тебе сказать, ну, сначала это переведи, а сейчас подумаешь.
I want to win this tournament. I want to prove myself for everybody.
Да. И то, что я сейчас нахожусь в рассвете сил, и то, что
I'm in my prime age right now.
У меня сейчас уже достаточно опыта в больших боях. Я готов к этому турниру. И, возможно, то, что я самый молодой, может, это и сыграет большую роль в этом турнире.
I already have a lot of experience. I'm well prepared for this tournament, and because I'm younger, that's even plus for me. That's my thoughts.
We'll take one or two more. Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Vadim, I just want to bounce off a question you just answered. What are you trying to prove?
Возвращаясь к вопросу, который был, а что ты хочешь доказать?
Я хочу
доказать, тут имеется в виду, когда ты говорил, что ты хочешь доказать, показать себя, что именно, как ты хочешь, то есть, что именно?
Хочу доказать, что я чемпион, и что наша школа, школа Федора Емельяненко, сильнейшая в мире, и то, что мы всех победим.
I want to prove that I'm a champion for real, that our school, our style, our mentor, Fedor Emelianenko, that we are best.
И то, что хотелось бы, я не знаю, что. Нормально, это все хватит, да?
That's it. That's it.
Last one here, Max.
Здравствуй, как дела? Я Max из MMAFighting.
Ага, понял.
At every step of the way, you'll have to defend your belt against light heavyweight top competition. What are your thoughts on these Grand Prix, and who do you think you'll face next, thinking on a victory on this rematch with Davis?
Смотри, каждый бой – это бой за пояс чемпиона. Какие твои мысли по этому поводу и какие твои мысли по поводу рематча с Филом Дэвисом?
Я рад, что за такой краткий промежуток времени я смогу 3 раза защитить свой пояс, свое звание чемпиона мира. Этим самым я, возможно, вот это.
I'm very glad for I have not a lot of time. I have 3 fights on this year to defend my title. That's really good for me. That is good for me to fight a lot and to prove that I am best, that I am a champion. Not wasting the time.
На мой пояс будут нацелены настоящие легенды нашего вида спорта, нашей весовой категории. Я очень рад такому сильному противостоянию, в котором мне придется доказывать свое чемпионство.
I'm really happy that these legends, they pretend on my belt, and I have a chance to fight with them and to prove that I am better.
По бою с Филом Дэвисом я готов на все 5 раундов. Я постараюсь
Я готовился на все 5 раундов, но я постараюсь закончить бой досрочно, сделать это впервые в его карьере и опять же поставить жирную точку.
So I'm ready to fight with Phil Davis for 5 rounds. I prepare for it, but I want to finish it. I want to finish. I don't want to spend 5 rounds with Phil Davis, and I want to make the first finish in his life. I want to finish him before the 5 rounds.
Okay, thank you for the time, Vadim, and good luck on Friday.
Удачи в пятницу.
Next up is Mads Burnell. We are now being joined by Mads Burnell.
What's up?
Max, your line is now live.
Hi, Max. I'm Max from MMAFighting.
Hey.
And a 4-fight winning streak in Cage Warriors led you to Bellator. Do you think a similar winning streak in Bellator would lead you to Patricio Pitbull?
I mean, that would make sense. So yeah.
And you were set to fight Saul Rogers a couple of weeks ago. Does it frustrated you at all having a change in dates?
No, not at all. When I got the call and they say it was a little postponed, it's like I'm out here anyway, and 2 weeks here, 3 weeks there, it's fine. I'm in shape, and it was fine with me.
And how do you think that fight will go?
I don't think about that. I just think about how I like what I can control and what I need to do to perform to the best of my ability. And when I do that, it's gonna be a fun night. Like I just said to another interviewer before I came in here. Usually I say, if you expect or predict anything when you go into a fight, you're stupid, because everything can happen in a fight. He can be running the show for like 10 minutes and I swing one time, boom, and he's down, and the other way around. I just go in there, I do me, control my performance, and that's it. Whatever happens, happens.
Alex?
Hi, Matt. You're number 10 in the featherweight rankings. Where do you think a win over Saul bumps you up to?
I don't know, because apparently he is not ranked as far as I know, which was like a little shocking to me, but I don't think about that. I have this man in front of me right now, and that's what I'm focusing on. Then everything will come by itself afterwards.
Awesome. And how many times do you want to fight this year?
I would really like to fight 3 times this year.
really like to fight 3 times this year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Mads, you recently started training in Las Vegas. Can you tell us a little bit about what drew you out to America to train and how it's going for you?
So the reason why I went to America to train was because the fight was in America, and I don't think a week is enough to get acclimated to like the time difference and all, and get the jet lag out. So I've been knowing Dennis Davis for like 5 years, 6 years or something. And like he is connected to my team back home, and he's the head coach of Extreme Couture. So I've been going to Las Vegas, living with Dennis and his family, and training every day at Extreme Couture, and it's been great.
Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Mads, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Can't complain. Doing well, brother. The only thing I got to ask you, man, is just this. Like everybody else, 2020 was so hard and a lot of things were shut down, locked. So for you, how are you, before you got your last fight for last year, how were you able to keep yourself motivated through everything that went down?
You know, first of all, I turned my basement into a fully matted room so I could have some guys coming over. So I was pretty much training every day, which kept the motivation high. And then always like looking for that fight. When was I gonna get that fight? I was super hungry to fight, still am. But then I got the fight, and yeah, it was cool. I got it, did my job.
Thank you much, man.
Thank you.
With this being your first fight in America, I'm sorry, it's not your first fight in America.
Second
fight in America.
Yeah.
Well, the first fight in a pandemic world, being here in the fight sphere, how's everything been going for you?
Everything's been going great. I've been hooking up my PlayStation to the TV in my room and playing Call of Duty with the guys. Everything's been cool. Bellator's taking good care of us, living in a nice hotel room. Yeah, I can't complain.
And your opponent this weekend, you've obviously put in a lot of studying on his past performances. Can you just tell us, what you're expecting?
Like I said before, again, I don't expect or predict anything. I go in there and do me. That's all I do.
Santiago.
Hi, Mats. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Your Bellator debut was in Paris, a very special event. Your fight ended in the first round. How special was it for you to have your debut at such a big event, the first MMA event in Paris? And do you like your new home here at Bellator?
First of all, it was super cool fighting in France, and like the event was super cool. I don't think that I realized that it was so historic actually after the fight. So that is what it was, and I am super happy to be with Bellator MMA. It's like a dream come true. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, it was also the first event on the BBC iPlayer, so it was like big history that day. 2 short questions for me. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Dennis Davis is going to be in my corner, and then a dude named Thomas Dupont.
All right, and the last one from me. This is maybe a good thing for the European fans, but your fight is the first fight of the event. So it's good for the European fans. They don't have to stay up all night to watch you fight. But are you a bit confused and maybe surprised that you are the first fight of the night?
No, because actually what you just said, that's what I thought as well. And it makes sense. If you want like 2 of the best Europeans to be seen by the Europeans, you don't put them on like the last fight before the main event, because then all the Europeans is asleep. So it makes sense that we're the first fight, and I love being the first fight. It's just in there, boom, get it done, and then out having a good time. So it's perfect for me. I can't complain.
Last question, Mike.
Hey, Mads, you kind of talked about just going in there, focus on yourself and not making any predictions. You also mentioned, being shocked at where, your opponent not being in the rankings. With this being a brand new ranking system and saying it's a dream come true to fight, for Bellator, is this a perfect opportunity to kind of just come in, do your thing, and cement your place in the division? Because the rankings are kind of put together, but now that you're fighting so early on in the rankings, like birth, it gives you an opportunity to really showcase and make your own place in the rankings. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. Makes sense.
All right, Mads. Thank you very much for the time and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Lance Gibson Jr. We are now being joined by Lance Gibson Jr. We'll begin with a few questions from the media. Will, your line is now live.
This is Will from the Fight Gods. I was wondering, after your 2 fights with Shane got canceled, how does it feel to finally be getting back in there?
You know, it feels pretty good. Things happen. It is what it is. You just got to be able to flow with the circumstances of life and the circumstances as a martial artist, as a MMA fighter, and adapt and move forward. It's on to the next. So I'm excited to be there on Friday night.
Definitely. Thank you.
No problem.
Alex?
Hi, Lance. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man. Good. So I have a couple questions for you. So all 3 of your professional wins have come by first round stoppage. Do you hope to get any more cage time, or is it more of a you don't get paid by the minute type of deal?
Yeah, I mean, I like what you said. Obviously, you don't get paid by the minute. You get paid by winning. So my job is to go in there and win. It just happens to be that all of them have been in the first round. I'm not forcing it. I tend to just let my martial arts speak and put that pressure on and my intensity on. And I mean, if the fight ends, it's awesome.
Awesome. And my final one is, did you have any good fishing trips during the pandemic?
You know what? I didn't get out fishing as much, but I am transitioning to hunting. So I'm excited on the learning curve there. But I did get a few trips where I got a nice winter Chinook salmon, where those are like the best eating, and they got nice fat content, and they're really tender. So yeah, that was awesome. So
Neil?
Thank you. Hi, Lance. It's Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press. I understand that one of the fights that you had canceled last year was going to be on the same card as Julia, as this one is. Does it help you when you're training? You're both aiming for the same date, target-wise, with a fight, or does it not make any difference given you guys are always training together?
You know, I feel like it's in between both of those. It's in between both that it kind of doesn't matter because we're always training and we're always training side by side. But at the same time, it helps because we are training for the same date, for the same goal, to go in there and dominate. So, yeah, I think it's both of those answers for sure.
And a quick follow-up, if I may. Your training and fighting really is a family affair. Does that help or hinder? I mean, when the fighting's over, can you put everything aside? You know, your dad being a trainer and everything. Does it make things easier or complicate things?
You know, we haven't had any complications with that. It's been pretty smooth and easy. Us all being martial artists, it helps a lot because we all adapt the same mentality and the same mindset of one, respecting each other, two, having the discipline and obviously all the core values of martial arts. So being a fighting family, it's awesome, and it's not difficult at all. I don't see that.
Thank you. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Max?
Hi, Lance. I'm Max Morales from MMA Pit, and this is your second fight in Bellator. And in 2020, the promotion tried to book you more than once, maybe meaning that they are really interested in your development here. Do you want to become a figure like Ilima that got her chance to develop in here and eventually prove that she belongs to the world's best in her division?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I just missed it.
Can you just repeat the end of that, Max?
Yes. So would you like to become a figure like Ilima that got her chance to develop in here and eventually prove that she belongs to the world's best in her division?
Are you saying Julia?
I'm saying Ilima.
Ilima, like Ilima Lay.
Oh,
yes, Ilima Lay.
I see what you're saying. So I believe that I want to develop my skills and obviously become one of the most feared fighters in Bellator MMA. That's the goal. Not even the goal. I would say that's just kind of an underlying process that's going to happen. But I got a job to do Friday night, and that's to go in there and dominate and to showcase the world who I am and who Fearless Lance Gibson Jr. is. So take it step by step. And at the end of the day, I want to be myself, and I want to be one of the greatest. So that's my goal.
And you're still 3-0. So at 3-0, how are you feeling all this attention, all these media conferences, all these cameras, all these shootings? How are you feeling all of this?
I believe I was born a star, so it's nothing new. I feel like it's I've been around the sport for so long since a young kid. I've been in the corners at 5 years old. I've seen a lot of this before. I've had family members that are athletes, so I know what it's like, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the process. I enjoy everything about it. So I can get in there on Friday night and do my job, and then continue to do this because it's what I love.
Well, Lance, thanks a lot, and wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right, Lance, thank you very much for the time, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Next up is Julia Budd. We are now being joined by Julia Budd. We'll begin with a few questions from the media. Neil, your line is now live.
Thank you. Hi, Julia. It's Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press. I hope you're well.
Hi, thank you. Yes, I am well.
I know that you and Lance Jr. were supposed to be on the same card last year, but his opponent dropped out. Is it different when you're both on the same card and training towards the same target date? Is it more intense at home since you both got fights, or is it pretty much business as usual since you're always training together as a family?
It's pretty much business as usual, but yeah, it's more intense because it's more intense for Lance Sr. really, because he's got to hold pads for both of us and get us both ready for the exact same date. But for us, it's just same as usual.
And is it relaxing having him around fight week, or do you guys not spend too much time together?
Oh no, we're together. We're together 24/7 with us as a family. So we're together and we're just starting our weight cut and doing our interviews together. So it's been pretty cool actually to have somebody with me doing it alongside.
Thank you. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Sam, go ahead.
Hi, Julia. Sam Oakley from MMA UK.
Hi.
Hi. You've obviously been around for so long. You fought in Strikeforce, Invicta, now Bellator, won titles, faced a who's who of iconic female fighters. The sport and women's MMA as a whole has changed and evolved so much over the years. So how does it feel to have been a staple through all of these changes, to have fought at a high level throughout it all, and to have been a key figure in this emergence of women's MMA?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's something I'm really proud of. I'm proud of my journey. I'm proud of where I started and how it's gone. And I'm still here and I still have a lot of drive. And I'm so excited to go out there and put on a great performance on Friday night.
Just one more from me. At this point in your career, as I mentioned, the journey you've been on, all these organizations, winning titles, facing a who's who. What the motivation changed from when you started your career all those years ago to now, or is it the same? Is this next fight just a stepping stone to get that belt back, or have those motivations and goals changed for you at all?
It's always to be number one. That's always my goal, is to be the champion. But at the same time, I never overlook an opponent because it could be dangerous. So I'm fully focused on my opponent on Friday night, but I want my performance to be so good that they can't deny me a title shot.
Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Julia, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Can't complain. One thing I would love to ask you is as everything that's happened in the past year and a little bit of this year, everything keeps changing and evolving, especially in the MMA game. So I would love to know, how have you been able to keep yourself motivated and determined with all the shutdowns and everything that's been going around in the world?
One thing about me is I've never lacked motivation. It comes from myself. I've been driven my whole life. I'm so ambitious and I love martial arts. So for me, training is like, it's part of my daily, every day I make sure I get something in. And I think it's just been, you have to make adjustments. And this year has been, it's been a wild year and with COVID and everything. And you just got to roll with it and keep focused. So my goal has never changed. I'm still want to be the very best. And, people are training every day, so you can't take days off.
Thank you.
Max?
Hi, I'm Max Morales from MMA Pit. And hi, you got the featherweight crown in 2017. You defended 4 times the belt, and this is your second fight after the fight with Cyborg. How do you feel fighting again for 3 rounds? And what do you think about the next Cyborg fight?
I'm excited about my fight on Friday night. I'm ready to go out there and put on an amazing show. And I'm glad that they booked her another fight. And I'm excited to see how that plays out. And I want my performance to do the talking for me and let everybody know that I deserve that shot next.
Will?
Hey, Julia, Will from the Fight Gods podcast. Your opponent for this fight is not very well known in North America. How well do you know her, and what do you expect from her when you go out there in the cage?
I study all my opponents, and I know they study me. So she's been in the game for a long time. She's been fighting since 2009, and so I've been watching her fight, and I've known of her. And I was excited when Bellator called and said I had an opponent, and so I know who she is. Other people don't need to, but I know who she is.
All right, last one here. Alex?
Hi, Julia. You just said that with a win on Friday, you hope to get a title shot, but would you take a fight with Kat Zingano?
Yeah. I'm a gamer. I've never turned down fights. I've never picked opponents. I've never had that opportunity. So I'm ready to go against anyone at any time.
Awesome, and good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for the time, Julia, and good luck on Friday.
Yeah.